Hi, I'm Nurja Singh and I bring you 30 insights into the art of surviving, thriving through and not dying of a generation gap. And these are for all boomers, right through all zoomers. Insight 12. There were repeated headlines in December last year. You remember? They were about rape talk over group chat in a top ranking IB school. 8 students, some of them in leadership positions, were suspended. This was for the horrific content of their WhatsApp chats. The transcripts were violent and sexually explicit. Yes, you're right. It's not just girls, but many teenage boys and young men who are sexually assaulted. But the perpetrator is boy or a man in all reported cases. And there is agreement by now that this is not about sex. It's about power and conquest and proving oneself a man. There is this model of masculinity that was exemplified by older generations. The idea of the conquest of women and racking up numbers of girls with whom they have hooked up. Well, guess what? That idea has begun to ring hollow for many millennial men today, bless them. And they are reinventing masculinity. The idea that men shouldn't express emotion, be sensitive or show vulnerability is fading. It's fading. Look at the irony. The past 50 years have redefined what it means to be a female all over the world. We are telling our girls that they can be anything, do anything, and they are absorbing these messages, outperforming boys at every level. And the boys, they are getting left behind. And the reason? It's no longer enough to be a man. In fact, they no longer even know what it means. While women have begun to benefit from decades of conversation about the complexities of womanhood in all its forms and expressions, men have not had help with navigating toward a full expression of their gender. In the wake of the Me Too movement and the use and abuse of the phrase toxic masculinity, many of them in fact likely feel insecure, unsure and ashamed. They are unclear about what masculinity looks like, as there is such a fine point put on what it should not be. So, who will define positive masculinity for our young men? Question. Good Men Project is a glimpse of what enlightened masculinity might look like in this century. I looked for a parallel in India, did not find one yet. The project was founded by Tom Matlack in 2009 to collect stories about the defining moments in men's lives. He found that there was one moment when each man woke up, looked in the mirror and said, I thought I knew what it meant to be a man. I thought I knew what it meant to be good. And I realized that I don't know either. Today, less than a third of men aged 18 to 29 report feeling completely masculine, compared with 65% of baby boomers. It's not uncommon to see many men choosing a fruit juice over a beer, meditating instead of watching the news in the morning, journaling their feelings instead of gaming today. Influential millennial business leaders like New York Times bestseller author Lewis Howes are paving the way for this new model. He says in his book, The Mask of Masculinity, that taking off the masks men traditionally wear can lead to more success, wealth, and fulfilling relationships. So, what does modern masculinity look like? Self-aware, non-conformist, non-nasty competitive, kind, self-reliant, vulnerable, values-driven and motivated to grow. To come back to our story. Do the young know what defines sexual assault, what causes it, the impact on the victim, and how to prevent it? Is the idea of consent clear to everybody out there? And can our young come to us, to you and to me, in the wake of a sexual assault? We are guilty there. This generation is poised to carry the mantle of a new way of thinking, a deeper sense of humanity and kindness and gentleness. Gentleness towards one another. Would you and I support these notions in them? This Zoomer Boomer is ready to listen. Book me to speak, and soon. Watch out for Insight 13.